mercy. He came directly at me. In the Great Flame Dynasty, there are so many other people. Why didn't they target Prime Minister Liu Outyin, but instead kidnapped Zhong Yangming? Who's closest to me? Prime Minister Liu Outyin is a heavyweight figure in the dynasty. Them kidnapping Zhong Yangming shows that I have reason to suspect they're targeting me. Listening to this, Liu Yan and Zhong Ling were almost speechless. Prince, you're really overthinking it. In their eyes, you're just an ordinary person. Who would target you? Ignoring them, Xiao Tian continued. Now Her Majesty has also gone to Black Soul Hall. If she sees me taking action, won't my true abilities be exposed? But if I don't take action and something happens to Minister Zhong, I'll never get to enjoy delicious meals again. This is infuriating. Why do some people always want to harm me? I just want to eat, drink, and be merry. Is that wrong? No, this absolutely won't do. I have to go and eliminate them. Don't worry, I will bring your father back. With that, Xiao Tian transformed into a beam of golden light and shot towards the sky like a rocket. The maids in the yard, who were bringing breakfast, were startled by the sudden rumbling noise. Only after a moment, when the sound gradually faded, did they look around in astonishment. Zhong Ling then turned to Liu Yan. Isn't Prince a bit too sensitive? Black Soul Hall probably doesn't mean that, right? Liu Yan thought for a moment. Maybe before being summoned, Prince had some experiences in his own realm that make him always suspect people are out to get him. By now, Zhong Ling was no longer worried about her father. Liu Yan, I suddenly feel some sympathy for Black Soul Hall. What on earth did they kidnap my dad for? There's no need for that. There's nothing to sympathize with. Just like Prince said, this Black Soul Hall is a disgusting and troublesome force that deserves to be wiped out. Now that they've provoked Prince, they're just asking for trouble. Meanwhile, the Empress, who is out searching, hasn't found a single clue. She can't believe that they'd be able to get away with Zhong Yangming so quickly. She's already reached the border of the Great Flame. Should she continue to search further out? If she moves further south, it'll be Black Soul Hall territory. If she goes in recklessly, it'll be tantamount to tearing up all pretense of civility. No, I should not assume the worst just yet. I'll go search the south first. Just as she was indecisive, something was flying towards her at incredible speed from behind. Startled, the Empress immediately released a defensive golden light. What is this thing, and why is it so fast? A huge beam of light zipped past her. Its momentum was so great that even as a 9th level powerhouse, she would be obliterated if hit. Thinking she was under attack, she quickly unsheathed her sword, only to realize she had no power to resist. Suppressing her shock, she shouted, "Who is it? Identify yourself." With that, she slashed her sword, producing a powerful wave of sword energy. But this figure didn't pause for a moment and charged straight ahead. The Empress stared in the direction it went, murmuring to herself, "So strong. Who is this powerful individual?" That direction is towards Black Soul Hall. A sudden thought struck her. Could it be he is the King of Hell? The mysterious powerhouse who destroyed the Blood Cloud Tower with a single punch, an existence that surpasses the 10th level? Empress quickly chased after him, eager to find out who this person was. On the other side, in a valley, a group of people were waiting in front of a teleportation circle. Moments later, a bearded man appeared in front of the circle with Zhong Yangming. All present quickly knelt on one knee and said in unison, "Greetings, Heavenly Killer." With a stern face, Heavenly Killer nodded and then escorted Zhong Yangming through the crowd. At this moment, Zhong Yangming felt a surge of emotions. Could this be the headquarters of Black Soul Hall? Yet the grand doors in front of him and the surrounding decorations looked fairly new, likely built within 30 to 40 years. If his conjectures were correct, then something was off about Black Soul Hall. According to what he knew, the existence of Black Soul Hall had to be longer than 40 years. As the doors slowly opened and the two entered the hall, Zhong Yangming was roughly thrown to the ground by Heavenly Killer. Then, with clasped fists and a respectful face, Heavenly Killer spoke, "My lord, I have brought Zhong Yangming from the Great Flame Dynasty." The man smiled faintly. "It seems you've acted much quicker than Earthly Killer. Any problems along the way?" Heavenly Killer continued to explain, "My lord, this man's wife, General Zhong Li Huang, reacted quickly. She went out of the city with Empress Zi Ruoyan to search for him. Unfortunately, they never suspected our hidden short-distance teleportation circles." The man nodded in approval. "Very good. Well done." This somewhat sinister-looking man was none other than the master of Black Soul Hall, Bai Qinglian. Zhong Yangming had obviously heard of him and blurted out his name. "You have good composure and courage, Lord Zhong," said the woman leading a few of Black Soul Hall's executives. She smiled. "I'm curious to see if your courage is greater than that of most people." Zhong Yangming showed no fear. "It looks like my odds are poor this time, and I probably won't be able to go back. So be it. I'm just a mere minister of revenue. Seeing such grandeur from Black Soul Hall before my death is not a wasted journey." At that point, Bai Qinglian finally spoke up. "Minister Zhong, why so pessimistic? We in Black Soul Hall are reasonable people. We've invited you here to discuss a matter, nothing more than to help maintain Prince Xiao Tian's position. In addition, we would like you to collaborate with Xiao Tian to monitor Empress Zi Ruoyan's movements." Zhong Yangming paused. "Monitor the Empress? What exactly are you planning? Prince Xiao Tian is just an ordinary person. Why are you so concerned about keeping him safe?" Bai Qinglian chuckled behind his hand. "What we plan to do and why we're acting against Liu Outyin are not for you to know." Hearing this, Zhong Yanming realized that Black Soul Hall wasn't the external force collaborating with Lu Outyin. But why did they want to monitor the Empress? What was the significance of that information? Seeing his silence, Bai Qinglian prodded. So, Minister Zhong, what say you? I admire you. You know, you'd best recognize a good opportunity when you see one. Grimacing as if preparing for death, Zhong Yanming clenched his teeth. I was but a penniless scholar, fortunate enough to be favored by the late emperor, which led to my current status. And the present empress, while a monarch in name, is also my niece who I've seen grow up. Do you really think I would betray my own family? Bai Qinglian chuckled. You've got backbone, but unfortunately, in our domain, backbone is the most useless commodity. Su Fu, show Minister Zhong what you can do. A man named Su Fu grinned. Alright. In the blink of an eye, Su Fu morphed and appeared before Zhong Yanming, landing a brutal punch on his stomach. Su Fu then pulled out a strange, large, and fat worm, forcibly prying open Zhong Yanming's mouth and shoving it inside. After the deed was done, he carelessly threw Zhong Yanming onto the ground. Despite his retching, Zhong Yanming could only helplessly let the worm burrow deeper into his abdomen. With a cruel smile, Su Fu explained, this is a scent-sniffing insect, a very interesting type of poison. It's now parasitic inside you. Within 3 days, if you don't smell the specific scent, the insect will consume your internal organs. Its abdominal legs will also pierce into your flesh to suck your blood, making your life worse than death. So, Minister Zhong, how about it? You only have to agree. Light this incense, and your body will emit a smell that the scent-sniffing insect detests. It won't bother you after that. Zhong Yanming lay trembling on the ground, enduring immense pain, yet never pleading for mercy. Those present couldn't help but admire his resilience. Throughout this, he had not uttered a single cry. Only Su Fu roared in what seemed like a loss of face. This is impossible. Why aren't you screaming? Don't you feel pain? After a while, Master Bai Qinglian, curious whether Zhong Yanming was dead or alive, couldn't help but call out his name. Zhong Yanming gritted his teeth and groaned, veins popping on his face. The next second, he actually stood up and shouted, the late emperor humbled himself to call me, a lowly person, his brother and friend. The current empress, since childhood, has called me uncle. This great flame dynasty is both my nation and my family. You, Black Soul Hall, think a mere finger-length poison insect can make me yield? You are laughable. Su Fu seethed, irate that his methods were so belittled. Zhong Yanming, are you truly seeking death? Enduring the severe pain in his abdomen, Zhong Yanming burst into laughter once more. I, Zhong Yanming, would rather die standing than live on my knees. Upon hearing this, Bai Qinglian gave up on persuading Zhong Yanming to surrender. Very well, if you insist on seeking death, I will grant you that wish. Xuanyin, your skills are the best for the job. Your slices are the thinnest. Execute him for me. Hearing this, the masked man known as Xuanyin said nothing but instantly appeared in front of Zhong Yanming. Su Fu muttered with some dissatisfaction, knowing that with Xuanyin in action, Zhong Yanming's death was inevitable. So boring. Xuanyin's blade then emitted an overwhelming aura. Facing the brink of life and death, Zhong Yanming couldn't help but shed tears. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I can no longer assist you. Linger, I won't be able to see you marry and have children. My wife, I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have argued with you last night. Just as Zhong Yanming was silently repenting, the ceiling of the Black Soul Hall suddenly shattered with a loud bang. Amid the flying debris, a dark figure slowly appeared before everyone's eyes. He had arrived. Xiao Tian descended from the sky, crushing an evil king underfoot as he landed. Seeing this familiar yet strange silhouette and feeling the bone-chilling pressure emanating from him, Zhong Yanming was stunned, tears still in his eyes. Xiao Tian turned his head and smiled. Good morning, Minister Zhong. Oh, why are you crying? The next second, Xiao Tian's eyes exploded with cold light. You dare bully even my cook? As his words rang out, an overwhelming force surged forth, causing several evil kings to vomit blood on the spot. Xiao Tian's face turned serious. If it weren't for fear of harming Zhong Yanming, why would I only shout those worthless individuals to death? And I just saw my wife Zi Ruoyan earlier. Xiao Tian then decided to take action immediately, lunging towards Bai Qinglian, the master of the Black Soul Hall. Bai Qinglian almost wet himself. Wait, Prince Xiao. Zhong Yanming has a painful parasite inside him. Without an antidote, he'll surely die. Hearing this, Xiao Tian turned his head towards Zhong Yanming and saw him shivering all over. You're still lying at this point. He's not in pain. He's clearly stunned. Stunned? He's stunned because you scared him. Su Fu quickly explained. Prince Xiao, I assure you, I planted this insect. Without an antidote, he will indeed die. If you don't believe me, just ask Minister Zhong. The others also chimed in. Minister Zhong, please explain to Prince Xiao. Your life is at stake. Exactly, Prince Xiao. Zhong Yanming is your good friend and an important minister. You can't joke around with his life. Zhong Yanming was utterly confused. Who am I? Where am I? What are these people doing? Weren't they trying to kill me just a moment ago? What's going on here? After hearing their words, a still somewhat skeptical Xiao Tian finally asked Zhong Yanming, are you really dying? To which Zhong Yanming responded, are you really Prince Xiao Tian? Xiao Tian continued, a brat named Zhongling mentioned that when she was 6 years old, she had an annoying dad who would purposely aim his butt at her face before farting. At this, everyone in the Black Soul Hall struggled not to burst out laughing. Zhong Yangming felt his scalp tingle. Why would the prince use this to prove his identity? That damned girl Zhongling remembered something from when she was 6. What's wrong with a new dad having a little fun with his child? A moment later, Bai Qinglian stepped forward to comfort Xiao Tian. Prince Xiao, it's all a misunderstanding. Xiao Tian felt disgusted hearing this. Can you talk like a normal person? You sound so effeminate. It's nauseating. Bai Qinglian broke out in a cold sweat. Ahem, Prince Xiao. Sorry, old habits die hard. Enough. No more nonsense. Bring out the antidote. Xiao Tian waved his hand impatiently. At that, Su Fu took out a lamp, filling the air with a faint fragrance. Zhong Yangming breathed deeply, as if he were a fish returned to water. Xiao Tian was a bit puzzled. Is this the antidote? Zhong Yangming hurriedly explained. My prince, this is just to temporarily relieve the pain caused by the scent-sniffing insect inside me. It's not the antidote. Hearing this, Xiao Tian was instantly furious. You dare to trick me? Terrified, Bai Qinglian hurriedly explained. Not at all, Prince Xiao. We're just trying to make Minister Zhong more comfortable for the time being. As for the antidote, we hope to use it in exchange for the lives of the 4 of us. Also, we wish to form a blood pact for added security. Before Xiao Tian could speak, Zhong Yangming stood up to stop him. No, Prince, you absolutely can't agree. A blood pact is an unbreakable bond. Once established, you can never act against them. Zhong Yangming clenched his teeth. My death would be a small price to pay. The malignant tumor that is the Black Soul Hall must be eradicated. Hearing this, the people of the Black Soul Hall felt their scalps tingle. Their worst fear had come true. It wasn't that Xiao Tian was too strong. It was that Zhong Yangming was not afraid to die. Who knew that the next second, Xiao Tian suddenly spoke. Fine, let's form a blood pact. Xiao Tian then turned his gaze back to Zhong Yangming. If you die, where will I find another chef who cooks as deliciously as you? Besides, your daughter, that little brat Zhongling, would cry non-stop and annoy everyone if she knew her dad was really dead. Suddenly, Xiao Tian's face turned cold and he told the people of Black Soul Hall, let me give you some advice. Be more considerate in your actions. Remember, what goes around comes around. Nobody is spared by the heavens. Then, standing in place, Xiao Tian was surrounded by several people from the Black Soul Hall. Together they chanted, invoking the cosmic laws as their witness. In exchange for the antidote to save Zhong Yangming's life, Xiao Tian would never harm any of the Black Soul Hall members present. The antidote must also be effective. As the red glow of cosmic laws gradually dissipated, the blood pact was successfully formed. An imprint was engraved on Xiao Tian's hand by cosmic laws. Seeing this, Su Fu took out an antidote and gave it to Xiao Tian. After taking this, within 3 days, the scent-sniffing insect will dissolve into pus. With that, he tossed the antidote to Zhong Yangming. Xiao Tian then coldly warned them, I hope you cherish this opportunity. Take care. After saying that, Xiao Tian left with Zhong Yangming in a flash of light. Bai Qinglian and his men finally exhaled in relief. Finally, that guy is gone. A moment later, Bai Qinglian, who had recovered his energy, suddenly yelled at Su Fu, plant a scent-sniffing insect in every person in the intelligence department. How dare you tell me Xiao Tian is a waste? Make them suffer. Still stunned by Xiao Tian, Su Fu nodded mechanically. Don't worry, master, I'll make their lives a living hell. And these fools dare to say that Xiao Tian is a useless slacker? That man is clearly an incredibly strong monster. Another person scratched his head and asked, Master, what should we do now? Bai Qinglian gritted his teeth, his face full of resentment. It seems we'll have to ask for the help of high-ranking officials from the Holy Demon Sect's headquarters. Revenge is a dish best served cold. The blood pact only says he can't harm us, but we can still go after him. Xiao Tian overlooked this detail. Ha ha ha, I will definitely torture him and make him suffer. Just then, a hearty laugh came from outside the front gate. The woman shivered in fear and hurriedly patted Bai Qinglian. Master, annoyed, Bai Qinglian snapped. What are you doing? Haven't I said I hate being touched by women? Trembling, the woman pointed towards the gate. Master, look over there. Look. Reluctantly, Bai Qinglian followed the direction she was pointing and was dumbfounded. This is trouble. Hiding outside the gate were none other than Xiao Tian and Zhong Yangming, who had returned. Prince, we've been discovered, Zhong Yangming said. Xiao Tian stepped out and spoke. Old Zhong, do you know how to describe people like these? Zhong Yangming thought for a moment. I don't know. Prince, you tell me. With a smirk, Xiao Tian pointed at Bai Qinglian. It's called a leopard can't change its spots. Zhong Yangming chuckled. Indeed, the true source of happiness is built upon the suffering of others. All the people from the Black Soul Hall were terrified, but Zhong Yangming was immensely impressed by Xiao Tian. Though Prince may appear to be out of tune, he is actually very thoughtful. He went on to explain that Xiao Tian had told him earlier to observe these people to see if they had genuinely changed and had no intention of seeking revenge. Xiao Tian coldly stared at everyone. I originally thought of giving you a second chance to walk the path of righteousness. I even came back to compensate you for the roof I broke earlier, but you have disappointed me greatly. Bai Qinglian broke out into a cold sweat. Prince Xiao, I was just speaking casually. Besides, we have a blood pact. Zhong Yangming felt disheartened. I knew it would come to this. If not for saving me, Prince wouldn't be in such a passive position. The others from Black Soul Hall also tried to pacify the situation. Prince Xiao, the master is right. It's all a misunderstanding. We have a blood pact after all. Growing more audacious, Bai Qinglian continued. If you dare lay a hand on us, the rules of heaven and earth will fall, and all beings will be as insignificant as ants. Annoyed, Xiao Tian retorted, you're truly incorrigible. Even at this point, you don't know how to repent. You even speak in such a contrived manner. Just as I suspected, you people from Black Soul Hall have been scheming against me all along. Pointing at Bai Qinglian, he added, I've underestimated you. At first, I thought you were just trying to sabotage my relationship with the Empress through poisonous marsh elder and earthly killer, but I never expected you to be so meticulous as to trap me with a blood pact. Such a frightening mind, such poisonous scheming. Confused by Xiao Tian's accusations, Bai Qinglian wondered, what is he talking about? When did I ever scheme against him? If I had known he was this formidable, I would have stayed far away. The evil kings of Black Soul Hall looked at him in astonishment. Our master could scheme to this extent? That's incredible. Annoyed, Bai Qinglian retorted, why are you looking at me? I didn't do anything. How could I have used poisonous marsh elder? Wait a minute. Poisonous marsh elder? Bai Qinglian suddenly raised his voice. Are you saying that poisonous marsh elder died at your hands? Are you the king of hell? Xiao Tian replied earnestly. Don't make baseless accusations. Do I look like the kind of person who would kill indiscriminately? Poisonous marsh elder committed suicide, said Xiao Tian. Zhong Yangming, who was standing behind Xiao Tian, was now stunned. So Prince is actually the king of hell. The members of Black Soul Hall felt chills running down their spines upon hearing Xiao Tian's words. What on earth did you do to make someone prefer suicide over living another second? Are you a demon? Xiao Tian smiled and energy surged within his palm. Up to this point, you still have no intention of repenting, and you still slander me as the murderer. It seems you are rotten to the core. Fine. Today I shall act as an agent of heaven and send you all to the paradise. Terrified, a subordinate acted quickly out of fear, spitting out a large amount of poisonous fluid towards Xiao Tian while questioning. You've already signed the blood oath. Aren't you afraid of the heavenly rules? Xiao Tian just snorted coldly. So low and dirty. Even your moves are disgusting. As he said this, his gaze sharpened, and an overwhelming force burst forth from his hand. It rushed toward the subordinate with a loud rumble, like a laser firing. Looking at the marks left on the ground and walls, Zhong Yangming was frightened. Prince, why are you so impulsive? You should know, almost no one signs blood oaths because the vows are stringent and it's easy to break the rules. A severe violation will undoubtedly lead to death. Bai Qinglian also didn't expect that Xiao Tian would be so decisive, acting immediately. Was he not afraid of losing his life? As expected, at this moment, dark clouds gathered and thunder rolled in the sky outside the hall. A repressive atmosphere began to spread. Zhong Yangming looked at the sky, worried. The rules of heaven and earth can't be challenged or violated. Otherwise, calamity will strike, and under this thunder, death is inevitable. Prince, you're too reckless. At this moment, no one was happier than Bai Qinglian. He repeated the words that Xiao Tian had said earlier. The wheel of fate keeps turning. Heaven spares no one. As he spoke, thunderbolts, filled with rolling anger, rained down. It was as if the avatar of heavenly law was roaring at Xiao Tian. The people of Black Soul Hall reveled in Xiao Tian's misfortune, completely lost in their joy. Xiao Tian, however, kept his head low, seemingly somewhat dissatisfied. The next second, Xiao Tian suddenly let out a cold snort and angrily shouted, if you dare, try striking down on my head. As Xiao Tian's words fell, the giant dragon seemed to sense something wrong. Its pupils dilated in fear, and it quickly dispersed the dark clouds in the sky, replacing them with a beautiful rainbow. It then landed behind Xiao Tian and let out a soft roar, as if to proclaim Xiao Tian's sovereignty. It seemed to tell everyone, this Xiao Tian is my boss. Then it obediently began massaging Xiao Tian's legs and shoulders, acting very much like a sycophant. Zhong Yangming and the people of Black Soul Hall were completely stunned. They couldn't think of any words to describe their feelings at that moment. After the heavenly dragon finished flattering Xiao Tian, it slipped away as if its feet were greased. The group was so scared that they huddled together, trembling. Xiao Tian just smiled and extended his left hand, which was previously bound by the blood pact, saying, blood pacts may be useful to you, but they mean nothing to me. As he spoke, he clenched his fist, and the pact vanished into thin air. Black Soul Hall's leader Bai Qinglian was completely stunned. What kind of freak is this? Even the laws of heaven and earth don't apply to him. Without any more hesitation, he knelt before Xiao Tian and cried out, Prince, I know I was wrong. Please spare my life. This time I am truly repentant. Xiao Tian shook his head. Really? I don't believe you. Bai Qinglian immediately put on an ingratiating face. Prince, I know a shocking secret. No need. I don't want to hear it. Interrupted Xiao Tian. People like you, who wreak havoc and kill indiscriminately, deserve to die. I already went against my better judgment by giving you a chance earlier. However, I'm a soft-hearted person. Considering you've spent years cultivating your skills, I'll give you one last chance. Like this. When I count to 3, you tell me one good deed you've done in your life. If you have, it means there's still hope for you. Hearing this, the group exchanged glances. This guy Xiao Tian is just a simple-minded, brawny fool. We just need to flatter him a bit, and we'll be saved, they thought. Zhong Yangming felt uneasy. Prince, this doesn't seem right. These people don't deserve leniency. Xiao Tian just smiled. Minister Zhong, that kind of thinking is dangerous. The world is already dark and difficult. If even people like us, who have the power, don't give give them a chance to embrace the light. When will the light ever break through the darkness? Why not give them an opportunity? Now then, are you three ready? 3. Upon hearing this, they were all stunned. Wait, shouldn't he start counting from 1? Before they could react, Xiao Tian made his move. You're all so stubborn. I already counted to 3. Why aren't you speaking? I guess I was overly optimistic. But don't worry, I won't let you die out in the open. As he spoke, a black hole suddenly appeared behind the group and swallowed them all up. He also clapped his hands and lamented, what's the use of having such power if you can't lead people to goodness? Sigh. As expected, as soon as he was saved, Zhong Yangming suggested, Prince, if you completely annihilate Black Soul Hall, the southern region of the Great Flame Dynasty will surely be stable for many years. Xiao Tian turned his head in silence. You see, I've just revealed my power, and you're already putting me to work. Zhong Yangming felt awkward. Well, the capable should bear more responsibility. Xiao Tian took a deep breath. You exploiting elites truly have no heart. Once my wife finds out about my real power, wouldn't I be busy all day and night without even knowing which way is up? No, I absolutely cannot reveal my strength. He turned towards Zhong Yangming. I warn you, do not expose my strength when you go back. Zhong Yangming wanted to say something, but Xiao Tian continued with a smile. If you dare to speak out, I'll tell Zhong Lishuang about the 167 secret stashes of money in your Zhong mansion. I'll also secretly abduct you to a brothel every night and let Zhong Lishuang catch you there. Zhong Yangming was horrified. Prince, can you really say such malicious things? Fine, I won't say anything, okay? Prince, what about my daughter and Lu Yan and Black Soul Hall? Xiao Tian waved his hand to interrupt. Zhongling and the others already know about my situation and have promised to keep it a secret. As for Black Soul Hall, come with me. The two walked out of the main hall. Only then did Zhong Yangming notice that apart from the main hall, the rest of Black Soul Hall had turned into ruins. What happened here? Xiao Tian smiled. When I arrived earlier, I came in too fast. The air pressure was too intense and it accidentally lowered the height of the buildings. As for them, they were probably crushed to death along the way. Perhaps this is retribution for their many evils. Zhong Yangming thought to himself, what a form of retribution this is. Moments later, the two arrived at a place that was relatively well preserved, sealed off by a large array. Xiao Tian reached out his hand and clawed at the air. The next second, the door was blasted open with a loud bang. The place was filled with rich spiritual energy and brilliant lights, probably where Black Soul Hall kept their ill-gotten gains. Upon entering, Zhong Yangming was stunned by the room full of spirit stones. Xiao Tian then called on his system, Puppy, to calculate the value of these items. To his surprise, Puppy informed him, the system is currently upgrading and requires temporary maintenance. Xiao Tian was immediately displeased. You can't even handle something this small. What's the use of having you? Might as well get rid of you here and now. Frightened, Puppy urgently paused the upgrade. Calculating, the total value of Black Soul Hall's stash is 32 million spirit stones. May I continue the upgrade and maintenance now? Yes, go ahead. Thank you, Master. And the system resumed its upgrade, entering maintenance mode. Then, Xiao Tian sighed and told Zhong Yangming, the value of the stuff here is just over 32 million spirit stones. As compensation, it's barely passable. I didn't expect Black Soul Hall, which looks so grand, to be so poor. Zhong Yangming quickly explained, Prince, the entire annual tax revenue of the Great Flame Dynasty is only around 10 million spirit stones. Prince, shouldn't these be turned over to the National Treasury? Why are you talking about compensation? Xiao Tian looked displeased. Why should it go to the National Treasury? This is all compensation from Black Soul Halls by Qinglian to us. Zhong Yangming was puzzled. What are you talking about? You've already made by Qinglian miserable. He's dead. Aren't you going to let him go? Xiao Tian crossed his arms and began to explain. Right now, I should be sipping some wine, eating some food, and waiting at your Zhong residence for the dishes you've prepared. But instead, I'm here because of Black Soul Hall. They were plotting against us. Shouldn't they compensate us 10 million spirit stones? I'll take 9 million, and you can have 1 million. Zhong Yangming was confused. Prince, what do you mean by plotting against us? Xiao Tian retorted. You don't understand. Time is money. Time is life. Black Soul Hall wasted our time. How is that not plotting against us? In addition to compensation, we should at least get 10 million spirit stones for our services, right? For tuition fees, I'll take a loss and count it as 10 million spirit stones. And for transportation costs, 5 million spirit stones is reasonable. Plus the emotional distress you suffered from being kidnapped, another 2 million isn't excessive. So that totals to 37 million spirit stones. The value of this stash is only 32 million. Darn it, Black Soul Hall still owes us 5 million spirit stones. Looking at Xiao Tian's indignant expression, Zhong Yangming's worldview completely collapsed. How is it that someone who's already gone could end up owing you 5 million? Prince, the way you do your accounting is absolutely unparalleled. After dressing himself in Zhong Yangming in night attire, Xiao Tian was very satisfied. Worthy of my choice, this outfit looks like it's made for escaping. Alright, wait for me a moment, I'm going to clean up the scene. With that, Xiao Tian suddenly burst forth with energy, and without making a move, the palace below started to tremble. In an instant, sand filled the sky, the ground sank, and all the buildings of Black Soul Hall disappeared into the earth. Zhong Yangming was left dumbfounded. Prince, just how strong are are you? What realm are you in? Could you be above the 10th level? Xiao Tian honestly replied, I have no realm. I don't even have spiritual energy. Haven't you noticed? Zhong Yangming realized this fact a bit too late. Prince does indeed seem like an ordinary person, but why are you so strong? Don't guess. My strength is a bit special and seems to be increasing. I don't know just how powerful I am yet, but luckily, I'm very good at control. Otherwise, the Great Flame Dynasty would have already been destroyed. Destroyed? Zhong Yangming's scalp tingled in fear. It seems like it wouldn't be a difficult feat for someone with Prince's abilities. If I were a bit stronger, would I not have been so easily kidnapped? Thinking of this, Zhong Yangming clenched his fist and asked Xiao Tian, Prince, could you give me some guidance on cultivation? Xiao Tian was taken aback. You want to cultivate? I remember Zhongling saying you're not really interested in cultivation. You've been focusing all your attention on the affairs of the Great Flame Dynasty. Zhong Yangming became serious. After witnessing Prince's strength, my views have changed. This time, Black Soul Hall had something for me to do. That's why they didn't harm me. What if next time, someone sets their sights directly on the Great Flame Dynasty and wants to harm me? So, this incident with Prince has also given me some inspiration. If I appear weak on the surface, waiting for those who want to harm me to reveal themselves, can't I just take them down in one fell swoop? With a sly smile covering his face, Zhong Yangming made his point. Xiao Tian was speechless. This guy is so cunning, planning to play the fool to catch the wise. Xiao Tian directly took a refusing posture. You can do it without involving me. I simply wanted to enjoy a peaceful life, and they forced me to act. But it's good for you to practice. It will save a lot of trouble. Have you thought about your alias yet? Zhong Yangming scratched his head, looking confused. Alias? What alias? So stupid. Everyone in this world has an alias. Think of one in advance so you can announce it when you act. I had a friend who used to ambush people in the toilet, earning him the nickname the Slaughterer of the Restroom. So, be serious about it. What if people call you the Heavy Cavalry? Xiao Tian spoke with righteous indignation, but Zhong Yangming only mumbled in bewilderment. Your friend, Xiao Tian, interrupted him. That's not the point. The point is your alias. Have you thought of one? Hearing this, Zhong Yangming's eyes turned determined. Call me Heavy Cavalry. Xiao Tian subconsciously praised him. Decisive and manly. Wait, are you sure you want to go with that name? Zhong Yangming nodded confidently. Yes, Heavy Cavalry it is. Heavy represents the weight of the responsibilities of the Great Flame Dynasty. Cavalry symbolizes charging into battle. I really like this name. Zhong Yangming then spoke again. Prince, could you do me a favor? Xiao Tian glared at him. Why do you have so many requests? Come on, Prince. How about this? Instead of preparing 5 meals a week for you, I'll prepare 10. Xiao Tian immediately brightened up. Speak. What is it? Zhong Yangming pointed at the ruins below. Could Prince write a line of text? Right. The affairs of the Great Flame. The King of Hell is destined to conquer. Make it big enough to cover the entire valley. I want to make a splash in these murky waters using the name of Prince, a hidden powerhouse. Let's see who has their eyes on our Great Flame Dynasty and what they're after. Xiao Tian stared at him blankly, unable to resist commenting. You're really scheming, aren't you? No sooner had he spoken than he felt a sudden jolt in his heart. He turned to look behind him. Oh no, my wife is coming. Quick, run. After leaving the name King of Hell on the ground, he stirred up a gust of wind with a loud boom and flew away immediately. Watching Prince disappear into the horizon, Zhong Yangming couldn't help but marvel at how incredibly powerful he was. Then he looked at the speed of the Empress. In comparison, she was really slow. A moment later, Empress gently descended in front of Zhong Yangming, enveloped in golden light. Seeing him unharmed, she was a bit puzzled. Uncle Zhong, are you okay? On closer inspection, she became even more confused. Didn't Zhong Li Xuang say that you were kicked out in nothing but your undergarments? How come you're now dressed in a high-grade spiritual artifact? Then, the Empress casually turned her head and exclaimed, Holy crap, this is King of Hell. Zhong Yangming proceeded to explain, Your Majesty, I was originally captured by Heavenly Killer Pang Tong, one of the 6 evils under the banner of the Black Soul Hall. According to Bai Qinglian, they wanted me to protect Prince from Lu Outyin. Listening intently, Empress furrowed her brows, seemingly puzzled. Zhong Yangming continued, That's when King of Hell appeared. He was dressed in black, and I couldn't see his face clearly. Bai Qinglian and the others were killed by him. Not only did he give me an antidote, but he also allowed me to take all the treasures from the Black Soul Hall. He said he wasn't interested in them. A look of disbelief covered Empress's face. If that's the case, what does this King of Hell want? It seems he desires the current stability of the Great Flame Dynasty. He doesn't want us to be influenced by Black Soul Hall and Blood Cloud Tower. Your Majesty, think about it carefully. Lu Outyin has been devotedly serving the Great Flame. Also, Black Soul Hall not only refrained from offending the Great Flame a few years ago, but even took the initiative to confront Blood Cloud Tower on our behalf. Don't their goals seem to align? Their goal is to fatten up the Great Flame Dynasty's national power and resources, much like fattening up a pig before slaughter, Zhong Yangming said. Empress nodded thoughtfully. Based on what you've said, that seems to be the case. Zhong Yangming then took out the storage ring that Xiao Tian had given him. Your Majesty, this is a gift from King of Hell. After sensing its contents, Empress was amazed. It's full of high-grade spiritual artifacts. King of Hell is really generous. It seems he genuinely wants the Great Flame Dynasty to prosper. I wonder what he's up to. Zhong Zhong Yangming couldn't help but think sarcastically, what else could he be up to? He probably just wants to indulge in food, drink, and leisure, and not worry about anything else. Oh, I need to ask Zhongling how